Good evening, everybody. This is the Ghost of Highbury. I'm your host, Anton. It's a pleasure being here, hanging out with you guys for another live stream. So, as promised, we're gonna break down the Arsenal squad, the ins, the outs, what we have left over, what we're bringing in, and see what we can do. Because at this point, all we can do is judge the people who are in the door. There's no use of talking about who we should have brought in, who should have left out, because they're here now. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it's going to be for now. So there's no sense of looking back on the past. We're going to talk about the money that we spent and were they good deals or bad, and my thoughts on the window as a whole. I guess we can touch on a little bit of what we might need to do in the future, but I would like to hold off probably on that until some of these new guys, especially people like Ben White and Takahiro, gets some playing time up under their belts. I mean, because be real, Ben White has played what, 2 games, one preseason game, um, and then one regular season game. So, and then he was out for COVID. So, hopefully he's back firing and ready to go. I hope Pepe's back. I don't know if he went on international duty or not, but we will see. So, do me a favor. If you jump into the chat, please do me a favor, give it a like and subscribe. Trying to grow the brand. This is a brand new account. Interact with me. I'm at Highbury Ghost US on Twitter. That's where I hang out, and that's where I like to have dialogue. If you're interested in being on the show and you love Arsenal like I do, just drop me an email. I'm at ghostofhighbury@gmail.com. Very simple. Everything is the same. And so let's get into it. Be happy to chop it up with you guys in the chat. Let me just make sure everything's good to go here. Boom. Put this banner up here. So of course, like I always say, if you hear my dog, it's my dog. So first of all, I think that I don't know how you feel about this, but this is just the way I roll. I want to send out a congratulations to all of the reporters and in the knows, and whether they were right or wrong. I just want to thank them. And I know it's not vogue to it's not in style to give these guys a lot of props, but some of them have been spot on. And if you're one of those people who have who chronicle with honesty and integrity, and just not just working for likes, I want to say thank you, because you kept this day vibrant, you kept this day intriguing. And even though we as fans were probably felt a little bit let down, especially not getting in another center mid, um we wouldn't have known anything without you guys until, like, I mean, we didn't, not a lot of people knew about the guy from the Italian league, but we in a way we kind of depend on you guys. So whether you like them or not, they do provide entertainment to the space, and they did. And so most people were hitting on things that were right, from the Bell to Ornstein to Chris Wheatley to all the other guys, to Fabrizio, all those guys who put in all that work to bring us the latest and the greatest about our club. I just want to salute you guys. It was appreciated and it was entertaining. So that's that. Yeah, so get your coffee. I got mine. And let's chop it up. Let's talk about the club, Club de Arsenal. Okay. So let's just get into it. This is gonna be, it's gonna be one of those this is gonna be one of those streams where we might have to agree to disagree. We'll see. I kind of consider myself a centrist. I'm not booing people as soon as they come into the door. I like to give you enough kind of rope to hang yourself. I mean, if you've made so many mistakes that I think it's time for you to move on. Believe me, if you see me saying that online or something like that, or on the stream, it's because there's plenty of evidence to suggest that you're not fitting. It doesn't mean that I think you should stop playing football, but I think that at the level in which the fans of Arsenal Football Club think you might not be it. And so, but I'm welcome to be disagreed with, to be countered, to be, let me look at something in the light. And that's where you come in on the chat. So, like I always do, let me share my screen and show you this list. So here we go. Here's the squad, considering all the ins and outs. And big shout to AFC Newsroom for providing this. This is pretty cool, and I appreciate that. And so here's the squad. And so let's just dive right in. We'll talk about the list and how much money we spent kind of towards the end, but let's just start from back and work our way to the front. And let's talk about these first three goals. Let's talk about the guys in goal. Okay, so we got Bern Leno, we got Arthur Okonkwo, and we got Aaron Ramsdale. Let me see if I can. I got this new mouse, and it's not the magic keyboard that's on my pad, so I don't really know how to make things bigger on here. Actually, I can just do. Let's see if I can do this. Is it gonna work? Maybe gonna work. Yes. All right. So that's a little bit bigger. Let me see how that looks for you guys. Yeah. Okay. So now you're good to go. All right. So, Bern Leno first. Now, personally, I like Bern Leno. I think the issue is, and the issue that we have with a lot of this is going to be a recurring theme with this team, is I don't think that he fits with the style that we want to produce on the pitch. So in terms of shot stopping, he's probably an 8 or a 9 out of 10. But I think that it now in the modern game where you see the kind of trend with these goalkeepers, it has to be a three-pronged attack. You have to be a supreme shot stopper. You have to command your box, meaning when the scrums come and the crosses are coming in and think balls are being whipped in, you need to be the guy at the peak of that trident, punching things away, grabbing the ball, putting your body on the line. And then you have to be good with your feet. Your distribution has to be on point. You gotta have a laser on your big toe, pointing people out, starting the attack. When balls come in and you catch or whatever, you get that ball out as quick as you get it and start the counter. And I think that if we're rating the keepers in that perspective, then I think that where he falls short in the other two. He is a supreme shot stopper, but he does not command his box. I mean, all we have to do is remember the Brentford game where the guy's holding him. And again, of course, I will admit it was a foul. It was a foul all day. I mean, you basically boxed him out, but you held him. Even sometimes when you watch NBA games, that's holding. That's an offensive foul. But you see that was basically what he did. He boxed him out like he was trying to grab a rebound or something like that. But in football, that's a foul. And I was surprised that they didn't review that, considering that it was a goal. But it went on. But that was just one example where we've seen, he's probably thinking that his defenders are going to act. But if you're on this team and you've been with this team and these defenders, depending on them is not it. Why would you do that? I just really don't understand why you would think that depending on them would be that. I just think that's going against your detriment. That's to your detriment. So because of that, I would say he's average at best because of this system. If all he needed to do was kick it long and we weren't trying to play out from the back, and we were just kind of playing to his strengths 100%, then I think he gets an above average rating from me. But because we're trying to play from the back, because we need him to get the ball and get it out, because we need him to command the box because we don't have strong center backs, or tall. Well, that might change now. Um, with tall fullbacks, then he needs to be more commanding of his box. And I think I would accept him not being a great distributor if he commanded his box better. And I saw the last 2 games, he was a little bit better, but it's still not where we needed to be because of the center backs that we have. And maybe when Gabriel and Ben White come back, that will change. But I just think, sometimes, and I think that's why the club have been going this route of getting all these guys that they brought in were 23 years of age and younger. And I think I think the reason that they're doing that is because they want to mold their people. They want to get these guys in fairly young and mold them into the way they want them to be. They don't want to bring somebody else's junk from another club that, they're 28, 29 years old, and they're set in their ways and they don't want to learn, and they're complaining all the time, and they don't want to understand. They don't understand, and they're not trying to understand the new way of doing things. And I think because of that, we're going a different route. You do sacrifice a little bit with that. You do sacrifice a little bit of experience, and leadership. Not saying that young people can't be leaders, but usually that's an acquired skill. Okay. A lot of young guys are just focused on improving their individual games. You don't see a lot of young people out here trying to be leaders of men because, number one, they're not men yet. And number two, they're just focused on being the best person they can be. So, and then we have Ramsdale and Okonkwo. Now, I think that Okonkwo, I'm not really going to worry about him too much because I really just want him to get experience. He did sign an extension, and I'm happy for that. I haven't seen him enough to even comment on him, except, the preseason games where, honestly, he's playing against grown men now. So I didn't expect too much out of him. But, I just want him to kind of, train with these elder statesmen, learn and grow, because he might blossom into like a real superstar, which is what they're hoping for. Um, and then we get to Ramsdale, and we've only seen Ramsdale play. We've seen Ramsdale play for a couple other teams and get relegated, but there's some mitigating circumstances that go along with that. But the game for us, as much as I want to gas him up and say he kept a clean sheet and this and that, the fact of the matter is we played West Brom under 10s, and but he did, when he was called upon, he showed some shot stopping. Um, he showed some shot stopping capability. It's too early to say whether he's as good as Berlino is in that department, but he showed some commanding maneuvers in the box, and he also showed some good distribution. But again, you have to take that with a grain of salt, and I'm going to keep saying that in reference to him because of who the opposition was. And that's not a slight against them. You can only play who you're playing. However, it had to be done, and he did it. But, you know, playing against West Brom, under 12s versus playing, a fully squatted Norwich or Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, West Ham, Leicester, those are where the real tests will come. So, and so I think that, and I said Berlino had one of the three things. I think that Ramsdale has the potential to have two of those three things, or three. I don't know, because the sample size is so small. So, I think that the fact that we now have three competent goalkeepers, I think that's a good thing. I think that it's a position where, and I liked his comments. He said he was coming in to take that top spot. I think the issue that we've had in the past is that we haven't had many people coming in with that mentality. I'm coming in for your spot. Not like, oh my God, like Aubameyang's here. Oh, like I mean, I just, like he's one of my favorite players. Oh, Pepe. Oh, Granit Xhaka. Oh, Bellerin. And so you get this thing where like, well, I can't possibly take his spot. Like, I mean, like, wow, I look up to him, and here in Ramsdale comes and he's like, yeah, I'm coming to take that number one shirt, right? And we need that. right? And so I like that attitude that he showed, and I think we need more of that because I think for a long time we've had some of these superstars who aren't worried about somebody coming to take their spot, and because of that, we got a lot of guys who are just resting on their names. They're resting on the name on the back instead of playing their hearts out for the name on the front. And so, we've run into this situation. All right, so let's move to the defenders. We've got somehow we still have Kolasinac on this team. I don't really know how we've managed to do that. I saw that I saw somewhere where somebody posted that I think it was from the Fenerbahce president where he wanted like 3 million a year, this and that, and they were like, "No, we're not paying that." I know Ozil probably tried to pull some strings, but Ozil is not balling out over there. It's not to say that he's not bringing in any money because I'm sure he's helping them sell a whole lot of shirts and doing a lot of charity, and he appears to be a decent guy, especially outside off the field. He seems to be a decent guy. But in terms on the field, he's not necessary. I mean, he doesn't have, you know, he doesn't have 5 assists already like Pogba does. And this guy's supposed to be the assist king. So I don't know how much pull in terms of personnel Ozil actually has. I mean, they kind of threw him a lifeline. I mean, that's his boyhood club, and I'm sure a player of his profile they wanted to come in, but we had to do a lot of the subsidizing of monies to get him in. Now you're all of a sudden you're knocking on the president's door, and you want the club to bring in one of your high price cronies who got relegated last year in the Bundesliga and was not very good the year before with us. And he comes in with these crazy demands. And they said, no, I don't want to do that. So he stays. So there's a group of them. I think it's like 4 or 5 guys. Him, Chambers, Lacazette, Eddie, and someone else, I believe, that are out of contract next year. This is their last year. So when the summer hits, they can all walk for free. Now, I know some of you will say, okay. I mean, that list I just named. I mean, I know a lot of you won't be, too. I mean, outside of Laka probably won't be too upset about them leaving, but that's from a fan perspective. If you're talking about from a business perspective, that's bad business. You've invested a lot of money in these players, and you're not getting any return on your investment. Any person who's in business who makes an investment wants an ROI. All of these cameras that you see, the lights, the microphones, the headphones, the studio equipment, all this stuff that people in my field buy because I'm in audio and video production during the day. You see the microphones back there and stuff like that. The things that you buy for your business, you expect a return. You expect, you bought them because you want them to help elevate your profile, because you're using that technology, or you're using those assets that you've invested in to help develop your company and elevate your profile to put out a better product. And if all of a sudden you see like me, like, oh, I'm just gonna give away my camera for free. I'm not, I upgraded it, or I did this and did that, and I'm not gonna sell this. I'm just gonna give it away. I got nothing back. When you buy a property as an investment, if you're in real estate and you buy something as an investment and then you go and rent it out, if you can't get much money back for it, it's not a good investment. You see those guys talking about they want like 12, 13% ROI, return on investment. That makes a good investment, right? So we're giving away, and we've done it forever, right? We got all these guys, we're just letting them go. Now, part of it has to do with their profile. They're awful. And I think I was talking to Ithaca Gooners a little while ago, And he was saying that's more of an indictment, you know, on the players that we've recruited. And I was just saying, I commented on that about Kolasinac and the Fenerbahce president. I said, well, that's more of an indictment. This is the issue. These are the type of people that we're dealing with, not the people sort of like William. And we will never know unless somebody comes out and like with some sort of expose about how that whole thing came about, where he terminated his contract. But you don't see that happening. That is by far not the norm. Most guys will, run it out. Say, hey, I'm going to be here 2 more years. You paying me $250 a week? I take that. You don't see guys saying, you know what, I don't want to be here. I want to go actually go play. Even if I don't make as much money, I'm playing because that's what I love to do. No, that's Kolasinac could have done that. He's not, even though he knows he's not going to play. Well, I say that, but then he starts. So that's neither here nor there. So that's him. Tierney we love, but who needs to play better? I don't know if it's the system. I don't know if it's his body breaking down on him. I don't know if it's some of these players rubbing off on him, but he hasn't started off the season great. And good or bad, he has set a high expectation, and we want to see him hit. We got Ben White, who we don't know too much about because he's only played one kind of pro game for us. And then the COVID hit him, so hopefully he's coming back. But we're banking. It's another young guy that we hope we can mold and shape into the player that we desperately need for the next 10 years. And we have Gabriel, who has shown. I know he kind of trailed off after his injury, but he seems like a baller to me. I really, really like him. I remember the first game he played, and he's just heading things all over the place. It seemed like he was playing 4 different positions. I mean, he was literally all over the place. And it was great, sweeping up things, heading strong, running people down, shouldering people down to the ground, shepherding them, out of bounds, things like that, blocking crosses into the box. I mean, just a general monster. And after the injury, he, kind of fell off a little bit. And yeah. And so, but I expect him to kind of, be refreshed and ready to rock and roll. I know he was looking forward to playing in those Olympics, and they kind of went on to get gold, and I know that probably put kind of like a downer on him, in his mind state. But I hope that he can go into the season ready and willing to take us back to European competitions. So we got him. We got a Holding. We got Cedric. We got Tavares. We got Chambers. We got Murray. And we got the new guy. Kamayasu. And it's funny because I saw his former club calling him Tommy, so I'm going to call him Tommy. I see he has Thomas Partey's old number 18. It's kind of weird for a defender, but I guess Cedric's 17, so we're kind of doing some mad things with that. But welcome to the club. I hope of course I did what all of you did. Going to YouTube, I watched all the comps and stuff, and he seems like what he seems like to me. We're just watching the comps, and I'm not going to solely go on that, but that was just my, it's like you guys, you kind of want to get a feel for what kind of player he is. Obviously he's not a world beater because none of us have, or I'm not going to say he's not a world beater, but he hasn't become a media darling, and that's what I'll say. But what I'll say is he seems like Ben White. He seems like a taller Ben White. I mean, I know they brought him in and he played primarily right back and made that position his own. I hope that's what we're bringing him in for. But he has the same kind of career playing track as Ben White. Center back, right back, can play some midfielder. Very active up and down the flanks, very strong in the air, 2-footed, which is great. I really, really hate these 1-footed players that we bring in all the time. I know it's not a common thing, but at a top club at the top of competition, you should be able to find these guys. So he's very two-footed, which I really, really enjoy. And he's versatile. So he just seems sort of like when I was watching his comps, I'm like, wow, this is like another Ben White. And funny enough, another like Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Guy who can, Ainsley has never played center back, but things never got that desperate. I wouldn't have doubted they wouldn't have tried, if things would have gotten desperate enough. But I think that hopefully that it's a good signing. So as a whole, our defenders are are just decent at best. I mean, if we're keeping it a bean, we're keeping it 100. Um, it's question mark city right there. You really don't know. I mean, we are really banking on youth. I would personally prefer a youth and experience kind of deal, but we are going straight youth, straight, erase the hard drive and put our own stuff in there. I mean, that's what it seems like we're going. And I know that, getting Kolasinac out, well, I don't think Holding or Chambers were ever on the chopping block, if you will. But I think Kolasinac was, and I think because of his ridiculous wage demands, um, we couldn't find a buyer for him. I think it was probably all set up because, of course, the president came out and said that, like, his agent called and said this, and we were like, you know, uh, you've called the wrong number. Like, because the Kolasinac we wanted ain't worth nowhere near that. So they kind of, we got kind of gassed up for his departure. I'm sure he's going to be another guy that we run out. So, or maybe we'll try to get him out in January and replace him with, I don't know, maybe somebody with a little bit more experience or something like that, because that's the one thing that we're lacking. Everybody's young. Everybody's young. He's probably the oldest person. No, I think him. Yes, no, I think who's the oldest defender? It has to be Mari. But Mari's shown his level. And I think that with Mari, I think that if we have a strong or fast center forward that he has to mark, it's not going to work. So I think at best he's a backup. So the question I have to ask is, how many backups do we need? I mean, seriously, I'm looking at, okay, so we have at left back, we essentially have Kolasinac, Tyranny, and Tavares, which I think that I think the issue with that, and I like Tavares initially, I just think he has a lot to work on. So I don't think he's really, I think, because people have been kind of poo-pooing Tyranny a little bit. And so I think that, people are kind of gassing up Tavares a little bit more than what he should be. And I don't think that he is that good yet. He's not starter material yet. Nowhere near it. He still has a lot to work on his game. I mean, he looks closer to being a winger than he does a left back. And I think because of that, again, that's all good that we have somebody, but the issue is our main guy is injury prone. And that's not good. And then you have the center backs of Ben White, Gabriel, Holding, Chambers, and Mari. And it all depends on what Ben White does. If Ben White is the guy who we think he is, we are who we thought they were. That guy, then we're good to go. And then Holding and Chambers can take several seats. And, if they want to go find another deal somewhere and play somewhere in the championship or something, because I think that's their level, then we can cash in. Homegrown talent, boom, 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 bap, get them out the door. And we can start doing business the correct way. But if Ben White is not who we think he is, then I think we're in serious trouble. One, because we've invested $50 million into him. And two, we have another then we would end up with four mediocre center backs. And that's just that how a club who's consistently in the top six um operates. And I think that, because of that, I think that that money, instead of gambling on Ben White, I mean, if it turns out, I mean, it's great to be money more than quarterback and say, well, see, I told you, but you just don't know. And I think $50 million could have bought you another tried and true, assured center back, But I think with this manager, that's not what he wants. He wants somebody young with a young brain who can understand the intricacies of what he's trying to do. And, that's the type of player that's the kind of player profile he wants to bring in. But, from a fan standpoint, that's not what we want. We need some veteran, strong leadership, people that'll call you out when you're botching it. And I don't see any of these guys being like that. Gabrielle kind of has the physical capabilities, but he doesn't. I mean, he's new to the Premier League. He only has 1 year. Ben White only has 1 year. Okay, not Cedric, but Callum Chambers and Rob Holding have multiple years, but they've topped out in terms of talent, and that ceiling is, bottom of the Premier League, top of the Championship at best, and at worst, mid-table, lower level of Championship. I mean, I think if those two, Holding and Chambers, were in some mid-table team in the Championship, would anybody from the Premier League come calling? Honestly? And those are the type of questions you have to ask yourself. If they're not good enough for anyone in the Premier League, why are they here? What's up, Ali? What's up, big homie? Corgi84 says Tomiyasu apparently can play center back too. Oh God. You know what? You say that, and I read that too. And if he plays at center back, oh man, it's gonna be my face. And because we text during games and stuff like that, I'm just gonna be rubbing my face, man. I mean, I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna understand, because I know, and that that's not what we're bringing him in for. He's a right back, and he should be playing there. So, yeah, but yeah, what's up, homie? And then what else did you say? What are your thoughts on making Tierney captain? Alba is not vocal and does not check these guys on the field in real time. I've seen that, everybody says that. I think the circumstances that in certain the reason that Aubameyang became captain was not because he necessarily earned it. It was because of what happened with Granit Xhaka and him throwing the armband down and telling all of us to F off and all that type of stuff. So that was kind of like, all right, well, Aubameyang, you get that. I don't necessarily have an issue with that, but I don't know that he would do that. I don't know how vocal he would be. I think he's just he's a talkative person, and he's a team guy. But leadership, I just think that comes with age. And I think, with us getting all of these younger guys, I think if a 28, 29-year-old guy, I would probably, and I don't know. I mean, I think off the top of my head, I would say probably Thomas. But he seems like a really quiet guy too. Right? But he has the right age. He's been playing at a high level around big time ballers for a long time. And I think that a lot of the younger guys, me personally, I want them to work on their game and not have to be worrying about checking a Aubameyang because he's tired of not getting any passes, so he stopped running like 10 minutes ago. That's my issue with that. Yes, it comes with age, but Seth was great, young leader. Well, but that's my point. my point is that Sex grew up around a bunch of mature ballers, right? So there was no room for him to be anything except a baller if he wanted to even have a sniff around the team. He had all the natural talent in the world, right? He had all the natural talent in the world, but he grew up around ballers. Who's Tyranny coming up around? Who's Ben White coming up around? Who's Lakonga coming up around? Who's Balogun coming up around? No, none of those guys from the Invincibles area. None of those guys. No Patrick Vieira's, you know, no Tony Adamses. None of those guys. Tony Adams was a captain very young too. But these guys were men out the gate. I don't see any of these guys, and it might just be times change. Times change, and guys are just thinking about, being the best player they can be. And I don't knock that. But if we are basing what we want in having a captain is having those leadership qualities, being able to grab somebody by the shirt and hold them accountable for the mistakes that they're making or to motivate the team, I think that's why they like Granit Xhaka. Granted, and I don't know, I don't hear. Maybe when the Amazon thing comes out, we'll be able to hear this. I'm not going to say that he doesn't do those things. He just doesn't do anything else right. Right? I think at a minimum, you have to be talented enough to play for this team. I think that that's his issue. I don't doubt that, like you see him even when we were watching the Euros and you saw him rallying his team before the penalties when, and all that type of stuff. And we've seen him rallying, the team, but one, he kind of talks a big game and doesn't kind of follow up with it, i.e. him getting sent off with some diving 2-footed monstrosity of a what appeared to be a tackle. But it's not his first time. If that's the first time that happened, I don't think we're having this conversation. But he's done it he's done it a bunch of times. So as much as he might talk a big game, he doesn't even follow. There's so many issues with him. I don't even really like bringing him up too much. But I just think that I think his, even if he did get sent off a lot, if he was really good, but he got sent off a lot, it would just be like a head scratcher. Like, how's the players? It would be like if Thomas Partey got sent off a lot. You would just be like, man, is it bad luck? Like, why does he do the things that he does? Like, why are you the way you are? Right. But you're so good when you play and then you get sent off all the time. Like, I don't understand. You get a lot of unnecessary yellows and this and that, but you're so good when you stay on your feet and stuff like that. That's not something we could say about Granit Xhaka. He's generally average. And when he puts in one good pass, oh, hallelujah. We are singing his names from the rooftops. You know what I mean? It's wild. It is wild. He'll put in one good through ball every 3 games, and oh my God, let's give Granit Xhaka man of the match. Come on, no, nuh-uh. So I don't know. My personal opinion is I don't think we have that profile at the club yet. I don't. I really don't. I wish we did. So right now, I don't really look at it. I mean, I know that Aubameyang's not it because I was surprised that he came out after Man City because we've gotten destroyed several times over the past year, and he's gone. He's nowhere near the camera taking responsibility. It is what am I talking about here? It is tyranny. Or I've seen some other players who they stuck out in front of the camera to take responsibility for the beating that we've taken. And yeah, it's never him. So I was surprised after Man City, he came out and said, we need to have a team meeting and this and that. I mean, I don't know what happened in that team meeting because it seemed like the next time I heard from him, he was chilling in Gabon, getting ready for international duties. So I don't know what that meeting was about, but they definitely, and then Granit Xhaka, right? You didn't see no, I apologize, guys, on this and that. They've learned their lesson because you see, they didn't even post about him. They didn't even post about him signing his extension. They just kind of left the link at the bottom. They didn't put like, he like, oh, he's extended or he signed the team and stuff like that, like everybody else. There was a big old thing like they did with Emil Smith Rowe. Like they walked him out. He's got the 10. No, they didn't do none of that because they know. They like, no, no, we're not trying to get hammered. We're gonna just slide this one in under the radar real quick because we don't want to hear. We don't want to take a beating no more. And then what did he post? Oh, off to it, get ready for the World Cup. No, no, like, yo, I'm sorry. Come out real quick. 10 seconds. My bad. I didn't think that it was a red, but I shouldn't have been doing it. I should have known better. Sorry, I let my team. Nothing. Nothing. Even if he wanted to, maybe the club said, don't do it because you're going to get hammered. Right? I don't know. But nothing happened. Take your lumps. You actually did it. So you should take your lumps. But no, nothing. Anywho, yeah, yeah. So Ali, I don't know, bro. I don't know who the captain should be. I really don't. I personally, I don't think it should be above me either. But I don't think there's anyone else. Ali, you got me this cup, right? I think you did. Um. So, yeah, I don't really know in terms of that, but in terms of Tommy coming in, he looks good. But I always, these comps, unless and we don't get many people from the Premier League because and Ben White looked good, and that's why I'm kind of hoping that Ben White does well because in his comps he looked good, but a lot of them were further from the championship. And we got to go back, bro. And so yeah, but a lot of his Tommy's comps were from Serie A. And a lot of these guys, I mean, look at I'm not about to poop on Tammy Abraham, right? I'm just saying, look at Tammy. Tammy went over there and is demolishing it already. 2 assists and a goal already. 1 game in, already doing his thing, right? So all I'm saying is that it's easy to go over. It's a lot easier compared to the Premier League to go over there and kill it. So if you have a modicum of talent, you can go over there and do good things, right? The Premier League is different. So I don't put a tremendous amount of stock into it. What I do count on them for is to see what kind of player he is, to see the things that he likes to do, to see the type of things the managers had him doing. And so, yeah, so that, I'm happy that he's tall. I'm happy that appears to be strong. I'm happy that he appears to have a bit of fight in him, is decent in the air. I saw a lot of stats created on him and they look pretty good. Actually, I'm gonna get some of those stats guys on and have some proper podcast style conversations now that the transfer window's over and we can kind of start really drilling down into these guys. But pause. But we can start to just really get some details about some of these players that we've brought in, especially the 6 that we got, and just talk about where we can go here. So yeah, so those are the defenders. Hopefully, I mean, they seem it's very light. I mean, I saw a post where somebody said we should be able to play Tyranny, Gabriel, White, and Tommy, and that'll be Arteta's team. But I mean, a lot of these guys. I mean, Arthur's his guy on Conquo. He didn't have to extend, and he did. Ramsdale is his guy. Kolasinac, she didn't let just go for whatever. Okay. Ben White's his guy. Kieran Tierney resigned. Gabriel's his guy. He gave Holding an extension. He gave Cedric a 4-year deal. He brought in Tavares. Chambers is done. They haven't re-signed him yet. He brought in Mari, and now he's brought in Tommy. Right? So these excuses are running out. I know we want to say, "Oh, well, that guy's from this era, and this guy's from that era." Yeah, but no. I mean, if you just look at that list right there, those are his guys. Those are his guys. And even if he didn't necessarily bring them in, he made sure they stayed here. Right? So let's move to midfield. And we have Thomas, who, I mean, everybody knows the story. Never missed a game in Atletico, and all of a sudden come here and can't get on the field. And it's crazy because he's probably going to come back on a North London derby. And that was the game that he left at. So hopefully he can finish this one. That would be great. Saka, we love. Odegaard, who we hope can has a home. I know he made some comments about the all or nothing thing that we'll talk about in a second. Smith Rowe, who we hope to continue to blossom. Maitland Niles, who's made all the rounds over the past couple of days, poor guy. And like I thought, they put in the under 23s. Right? They say you ain't training with us no more. Right? We want you to stay. We ain't selling you. Right? We're not gonna, we know you just want to go somewhere and play, but no, you can't leave, and then now you can't train with us. That's just amazing management. I love it. I mean, hey, if I ever have a company, that's the way I'm going to treat my employees. They want to leave, no, but then you can't work. You just work alone too. Don't stick you in a broom closet like an office space. Lukonga, who looks great, who's probably been the MVP of the season so far for our team. El Nini, who no one came in for it. I'm sure if somebody would have put an offer in, we would have sold, but why would they? Granit Xhaka, the twerker, who twerked for Mourinho, and then they offered what they offered. We should have took, but we didn't. And Martinelli, it's weird. I don't, I guess they consider wingers as midfielders, but whatever, we move. And so, looking at this, it looks light. Looks light, right? Because in the middle of the field, the wingers, we got Saka, we got Saka, and we got Martinelli. But we sent away Nelson. Hopefully, he gets some good experience. I'm not going to poop on that because he needs it. The only way we're going to figure out if he's actually good enough to play in the Premier League, or to even attempt to play in the Premier League, is if he actually plays an entire season of games. Okay, not the odd game here or there, and then we might decide to, do half a loan or something like that. He needs to play week in, week out to see. And if he's good enough, he extended by a year, we sell or we keep, right? But if not, at least we know. At least we know, instead of him just hanging out here training, walking around London Calling all day. But I think we needed another midfield signing. We needed a Renato Sanchez or Basuma or any number of guys who were linked with, who kind of made, they were making like the Granit Xhaka kind of overtures, If you can remember, like Renato Sanchez, remember on he posted, Gabriel said, "Yo, come out here." He basically did the Yo Pierre, right? And Sanchez said, "Yeah, I'm waiting for the invite." Right? If you ain't thinking about coming out here at all, right? You like, bruh, don't do that, right? Like, no, you ain't about that life. I'm straight where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? He said like, "Yo, I'm waiting on the invite." And then it looked like Wolves was gonna get him. Fam, if he would have went to Wolves, Ali, I think we would have had to flown to London and did a protest if they would have got Renato Sanchez, bro. Seriously. And so I think that we're just light, and all of a sudden, like we do, which is vintage us, we're going to be dependent upon these young men to help out Thomas in midfield, because Granit Xhaka is not it. He's not going to be it for the next 3 games. Right. So we're going to have to, I don't know if he's going to play Lukonga, because he didn't play him versus Man City. I don't know why you can't say because he was tired, because you rested him in the game before that. He didn't play against West Brom, so he should have been fit and ready to rock and roll. Right. El Nini, we know the story on El Nini. He's a nice guy, happy to be here. I'm sure he's living the dream right now. You said a little montage he put out about not forgetting where he came from and all that type of stuff, right? He is living the dream. He is like the midfield Carl Jenkinson. You know what I'm saying? Without like growing up being an Arsenal fan, it seems like every time you you see him, right? He is just happy to be here. Like people bully, not I don't say they bully him, but like people try to start fights with him and stuff like that. And he's just like, nah, you ain't messing with my flow. Like, yo, I'm just happy to be here. I ain't getting in no fights and I'm walking away. That's a dude who is loving life right there. Like, I wish my life could be like, I wish I could feel about my life how El Nini feels about playing for Arsenal, right? He has, he's like, El Nini is the man. Okay. Yeah, I mean, he in a way he is because he's doing something that not a lot of us are able to do. He is living the dream. You know what I'm saying? He is living the dream, right? And we, at our expense because our midfield gets bullied and threaded through like a needlehead every time he's playing. And so, yeah, I mean, we we're just so light. And we were screaming out for a midfield. And I don't know. Maybe if the right deal came in for Kolasinac and I don't know. Maybe if they could, I think that the issue was they didn't sell Xhaka, right? So, and I don't know, I don't think, well, they said they never wanted to sell him, right? But he probably wanted to go. That's not my words, that's theirs, right? They never wanted to sell him. But and that's why I think that they weren't going to go for a low ball offer. But I think if they would have, they would have stumped up 20 mil, we would have taken it and we would have gotten the partner that we want, right? But I think this what it did was scare them into giving him another deal. So in case for whatever reason well, he's not starting off great, but in case he somehow raises his profile, maybe they can make a little bit more money. It might be a little bit easier to get that 20-25 million that they're looking for. And maybe then we can get, I'm happy that because Basuma, like towards the end, like Liverpool were calling, they were talking about Spurs maybe, and I'm like sweating, right? Because I'm like, why would you do this? And I've heard a lot about AFCON and stuff like that. And if you look at the schedule, that's 3 games. It's a North London derby, it's Burnley, and it's Wolves, right? Hey, I'll suffer through those 3 games to have Basuma or 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 whoever on my team. I'd suffer through it, whatever. Hey, if we get 3 draws or whatever it is, I mean, I think that we can come out of those games at minimum, I think, with like about 5 points out of 9. I mean, I say that without, because right now I take 1 point, or where we are right now. But, I would be willing to suffer through that if I had one of those ballers on my team instead of Brandon Xhaka, instead of Mohamed El Nini. Right. I think that's 2 spots that can immediately and should have been upgraded, but we didn't. Right. And then in terms of the wingers, I mean, like I said, we let one go. And, hopefully these guys stay fit. I mean, it's definitely a trimmer squad, with all the people that we let go. But hopefully the guys who are here can step up. Not looking good so far, but they can step up. But, so my overall impression of the midfield is light in the center, decent out wide. And again, we need some people to elevate their profiles a little bit. Finally, we get to the forwards. So, big shout to Judge Judy Slayer for the follow. Big appreciate you, Judge. Hope to engage with you online at some point. So let's move to the forwards. We got Laka, we got Alba, we got Nico, Balogun, and then Ketia. So let's start from the bottom and work our way up. So we got Eddie. So if you were watching, Eddie was done and dusted to well, not done and dusted, but it was done to Crystal Palace. The capo was going to take him because he needs a striker. What happens? The same thing that happened with Kolasinac, right? It's reported that, they couldn't agree personal terms, right? Now, I don't know. They could have said something ridiculous like, I don't know how much money Eddie's on. But let's just say it was a 50% pay cut. Now and what I do for a living, I don't want a 50% pay cut. So I understand in one way, but in another way, if I'm trying to advance my career and I go, if you go there, right, and you bang goals, you're only gonna be on that money for a little bit. Because you go there and bang goals, they gonna be scrambling trying to. I can't. I need a piece of paper to print a contract on. You know what I mean? Like trying to get you signed. They'll give you the money, but you got to bang in goals. That's what they're bringing you in for. You might have seen it as a slight. So your solution is to not play, not bang in goals, and then walk away on the free. So you're gonna waste a year of your career. What if you get hurt in training or something like that? And, you get like some major injury in training or, tear an ACL or something like that. Play. That's what a lot of these guys don't see. You see that, you look at this list and ask yourself, are you really going to play ahead of these guys? And then next year, we're probably going to bring in another striker. Lacazette will be gone. We will need to have made a decision on Pepe, whether he's good enough to get an extension or we're going to get rid. And Aubameyang is going to, probably see his out because nobody's going to pay $350 a week. But he'll be like closer to 33. And then Balogun, we've seen he should have been loaned. Martinelli can play striker. He should have been loaned. Agree or disagree? I don't know. So, yeah. And so, I mean, this is the experience end of the, of the list. I mean, I saw some wild stuff online today that some of the kind of Arab publications were saying about Lacazette and Martin Odegaard. I'm like, like some of this stuff is just disgusting, man. Yeah, but then there was like some pictures that were photoshopped of Lacazette, and it was just downright disgusting. But yeah, I mean, I thought we weren't letting people run down contracts anymore, but apparently we are. So I guess that was just talk. I mean, I guess if it's good enough for PSG to do, I guess we can do it too. Who are we? We're just the Arsenal. If mighty PSG can run down a contract on Martin Odegaard, on Kylian Mbappe, because they turned down 200 M's from Real Madrid. Where Real Madrid get that money from? They signed Camavinga, right? Remember, everybody was saying, "Oh, but he's only going to be like something $1 million." Well, that's to Real Madrid. Yeah, if he would have gone anywhere else, they would have fleeced him. Right. And then he probably only had eyes for Real Madrid, and he waited it out, and finally they came. He was ecstatic. He had that El Nini energy about his posts. He was excited, but it's Real Madrid, and hopefully he has the talent to fulfill it. But yeah, so our forwards, we don't score. We don't score at all. I mean, that's kind of our issue. We don't create a lot of chances. And when we do, we don't score them. If they're under 18s in West Brom, then yeah, we can. But if they're anyone else, even newly promoted teams, we're not scoring. So we need to figure something out. I mean, Pepe has looked lively. Hopefully, with Tommy coming in, he can, I don't know how they're going to play them. But hopefully that can open up some things for Pepe. Aubameyang, like I said, like I've been saying the past few streams, that he's shown me under the right circumstances he can bang goals. Lacazette, he does his thing. I just think, because I think it's weird, our problems with the three of those guys, Lacazette, Aubameyang, Pepe, have to necessarily do with the midfield, because they, Lacazette kind of has to become a midfielder to even get touches, right? Aubameyang needs to be played through, but no one plays him through, and so does Pepe. Pepe gets triple teamed when he gets the ball because he's kind of like the guy who will take a guy on, right? Him and Saka, right? So they just say, all right, we'll just double triple team him. He'll pass the ball backwards, and then they won't drive forward again. They won't give him a 1-2 or anything like that. Hopefully, Martin Odegaard can, and then when Thomas comes back, they can kind of rectify that. But I still think we were a little short in midfield. Like I said, Balogun should have been loaned, but why? He don't. We've gassed him up to the point where he thinks he should be starting every week. Maybe he would. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. But the fact that he's not on loan, right? Ask yourself this: would Balogun be the number one backup at striker at any other team in the top 6? Don't worry, I'll wait. No. And if I know it, then he knows it. And if he knows it, then why? I think like the goal is to play. That should be the goal, to go play. Like I get what you do in training, right? But let somebody you need somebody to get some tape on you. And then it might be like a football term, right? Like an American football term. Like what does the tape say? Man, I'm sitting wrong. I'm gonna get a cramp in my hip. Which time we got? 10 o'clock? Okay, we still got half hour. Yeah, so some of these guys, Balogun, Nketiah, Ben White. I would say Ramsdale, but he's been playing. Odegaard, Smith Rowe. We're just expecting them. Martinelli. I mean, if Martinelli went to, if they decided to loan Martinelli to a big club, like a Premier League team, and he was going to play and start every week, I don't know that I would object to that. I don't know. But I see him as having enough high of a ceiling that one day he will start here. I think he's that good. I think he has that. He's kind of got that like Alexis Sanchez tiger blood in him. You know what I mean? And I think he needs to play. I think he needs to know that his body's going to work. I'm hoping that he is going to be okay and not turn into Kieran Tierney. And and be every time he runs, he's going to like break down. And so I think I wouldn't have. It's just so many. We just depend on so many young people. It's just not a good formula. It's kind of like this Borussia Dortmund kind of thing, but we're not Borussia Dortmund. This is funny over here. I don't know. Let me see if you can't. You guys can see that Arteta out guy with the clown nose on Arteta. That's pretty funny. But yeah, I just think that we tried this Borussia Dortmund that and Borussia Dortmund's pockets are fat, right? Because they always and then when they sell Holland in a year or two or something like that to Real Madrid or Chelsea or whoever's going to pay like some 200, because that's going to be the new money now. You paid almost $90 million for Sancho, right? They're talking 200 M's for Mbappe, and he's at that level. He's at that Mbappe. And somehow over a year and a half, he's worked himself up to that to Kylian Mbappe levels, right? So you talking at minimum 160, 170, right? And they turn right back around. And they get the next young hotness. They get a guy from RB Leipzig. It's like, they go from somewhere, right, to RB Leipzig. And then from RB Leipzig, they go to Dortmund or something like that. And then, they kind of go to wherever big money club wants them. I hope we're not turning into that, because that club never has enough experience to get the job done. How many times has Dortmund won the league in the last 10 years? Once, maybe? Maybe once. I know one time they won it for sure. They won it with Liverpool's manager, right? I don't know if they won it with Chelsea's manager, ex-manager. I don't know if they won the league then. I don't even know if he was there that long. I know he was there when, kind of like towards the end of like Aubameyang and stuff like that. I don't know if they won the league then. But I know they won the league the year that when they had Lewandowski and Aubameyang playing on the wing and Marco Reus, like, they had a squad at one point. And so I don't know if they won the league then, but yeah, I know they won the league. But they don't win the league a lot, right? They're not Dortmund. I mean, they're not Bayern Munich, right? And Bayern Munich doesn't like go and just, what they do is poach their league. I'm not, like they poach their league. If somebody comes up, they get them, and somehow they never pay a lot of money for them. Somebody's got to break this down for me. How is it like if when Man City was trying to buy Kane, they were talking 160, right? If Dortmund or RB Leipzig or I don't know, somebody was selling someone to Dortmund, to Bayern, they wouldn't pay that much. I would never see Bayern Munich buying someone for $100 million, and they win the league every year. They would never have $100 million Jack Grealish. Even if Villa, if Bayern Munich bought Jack Grealish from Villa, it wouldn't be $100 million. Maybe that in that one instance, I take it back because they had a release clause, so that would have been it, right? But they never, and they always get like if you show some talent, you're going to Dortmund. Like you're going to Bayern, and I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't go, if Holland didn't go to Bayern. He probably won't because he just seems like the type of guy that wouldn't go to two teams in the same league, something like that. I don't know. Maybe he will. I don't know. But, we'll see. It seems like Real Madrid is going back to Galactical route. They wanted Mbappe, they want Pogba, and they want Holland. Now, I don't know if they'll be able to get all three of those guys. I think that Benzema's still in the way, but we will see. See, I've gone off on a tangent talking about another team. I was just saying all that to say that if that's the route we're going down, I don't support that. That's not how you. That might be. I don't know. Maybe that seems like something that Leicester would do, or something like that, because they do that. They have an eye for talent. They have an eye for international talent. Bringing in Tielemans, bringing in a guy from the other RB. I think the striker that they got. That guy was, like a young guy who, he like the Austrian league. He was like the main, the Golden Boot winner there, and he, they got him, even though they got Vardy and they got Iheanacho. Even I rate Iheanacho. I think he could do a job. And so I don't think that's Arsenal's DNA. I think that we have the pull and the brain to get the best and the brightest, and I think that's what we should be going for. But it just doesn't seem at this time that's who we're going for. It's not the people that we're targeting. I think that a lot of these guys have rubbed Arteta the wrong way. But I guarantee you, and I think that's why he won't get canned. Now, if he loses against Norwich. Now we're talking. Then they're gonna be like, what can we do? The fans are gonna burn the Emirates down or something like that. So, we got to do something, right? And then you run the risk of bringing in another manager, which a lot of us want to happen. But now they might not want to deal with a lot of managers who win big and win all the time consistently, no matter where they go. They don't deal with young players. They need guys so they can draw something on the board and they can go out there and execute. All right, I brought you in for this. You come Aubameyang, you play with through balls. Okay, we're gonna spend 50 million getting you a guy who can play through balls. All right, this is what I want you to do. This, that, this, and that. And that's what they do. They don't want a young guy like, wow, you don't even know how to do this and that. Like, oh God, I gotta bring this kid along. They might do that for like a player or two, like Pep does with like Foden. But like, if you remember a couple years ago, Foden wanted to leave because he wasn't playing him, right? All the fans like, play Foden, play Foden. He's got talent, this and that. He's better than Greenwood. He's better than this. He's better than that. And Pep's like, no, only mature, ready to go ball is in my team, right? That's not what the top. That's not what the top guys do, and that's why I'm kind of afraid because like if that's the type of person that you wanted, then you would have hired that. But you had a guy, and you probably set expectations about bringing young players in, right? And turning profits and this and that, i.e., like that Dortmund thing. That's fine for Dortmund. But Dortmund, maybe they think they'll win a game every now and then against Bayern, and they might win the league or something like that. But it's more than likely the odds are against them, right? But that's one team you have to worry about when you're Dortmund. You have to worry about Bayern. That's it, right? We have 5, 6 Bayerns we have to worry about, right? We got to worry about both Manchester clubs, Chelsea and Liverpool, right? And then then down the road, right? Then Villa's coming up. Then Leicester's coming up, right? We have people always coming up, right? And as they come up, they're taking our place, right? They got big, strong men determined to win. That don't just fold, right? So unless you're trying to bring in a team of Mbappe's, which is impossible because there's only one, and PSG has them. They're bidding for 200 million. A lot of as much as we love Saka, as much as we love ESR, as much as we love Martinelli, as much as we love Balogun and Tyranny and all they're not them. And Lakanga, they're not at um they're not at Mbappe and Holland's level. They're just not there. So you need to mix this with some experience. Our strikers are getting old. And, for whatever reason, I just think the type of profile that they are, we place balls in like we have like Peter Crouch on our team or something like that. How many balls we're putting into the box? So if that's the type of player that you want, then you should have spent that Ben White money on Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Spent 70 and got him. He's an Arsenal fan. He would have come. Filled that Ben White spot with somebody with experience, or kept Saliba. All right, we need to score goals. Right, people not putting 5 on us every week. They're putting 2 on us. Our problem is we don't score any. Right, the Man City game was kind of us having 18% possession, no shots on goal or anything like that. That's sort of like I hope that's a one-off. Let me get out of this. Yeah. Right, but we don't score, and we don't attempt to score enough. I think our XG is lower than like 0.1. Like it's something really low. If you don't know what XG is it's short for expected goals. Look it up. So it's a guy, the person who kind of developed that system has a Twitter account. It's pretty cool. But yeah, it's like this formula for figuring out how many goals you should expect to score based on your style of play and passes, all this type of data that goes into it, and you come out with this score. And ours is very, 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 very low. And so we need some, so if we're doing, tyranny and inshallah, we need somebody who can actually head the ball. Aubameyang's, unless it's a very, very, very free header, Aubameyang's not it. I mean, I remember that was funny enough. That wasn't Lacazette's first goal, bullet header to the box. Boom, smacks it in. Right. But he's not very tall and strong. He is strong, a little bit strong. But he's not very tall. He's not the guy that's going to be leaping off the ground like Ronaldo, right? Smacking in headers. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is. It's good. So get him in. So, okay, so that's the whole team. My rating. Let me know your rating, Ali. What would you give? Would you give the transfer window out of 10? I give it. I'm gonna say a 5. That's my score. I give it a 5 out of 10. I look at this as sort of being a turning point in terms of our club. It can be a turning point towards, we definitely botched this. We spent all this money and none of these guys came good. And it was a gigantic waste of money. He's never going to spend this much money again. And it's going to be a very long time before we recover. And or Ben White can come good. Tavares can continue to flourish. Tommy can hit the ground running. And yeah, I mean, it could turn out to be, you can turn in some solid players. I think that the issue is we didn't spend any of that money on world beaters. Guys who immediately, when the other team comes to our park to play, they're not like, okay, I need to worry about him. We didn't buy that guy. I think that they think that Odegaard is that guy. And, he does have the Real Madrid sauce, but if we're keeping it a bean, he didn't make it at Real Madrid. He might have been bought as like, this is a Galactico and this and that, but he didn't do it. He didn't make it. And it was a lot of coaches. A lot of coaches he came through. It's weird how it started with one coach and ended with one coach, with the same coach. So it started with one coach, and then he was loaned, and they went through coach, and he came back and nope, and new coach and nope, and new coach and nope, and new coach and nope, and then he came all the way back around to the original coach, and he thought like, surely I'm going to get a chance, and nope, no, you're not. And so now he's back here and he's happy. So so I think that they're thinking, but well, surely Real Madrid, pedigree, he's going to do things, right? Not if we're playing him as an 8. Not if we're playing him next to Granit Xhaka, right? Not if he has to get the ball from the other end of the box and drive like he's some box to box or something like that. No, he's not going to be that. Could you imagine if we had Basuma there and Thomas? Man. Right? Even if we bought Tommy, right? And we bought Basuma, we would have had Partey and Basuma, Odegaard in front of them, and then pick your 3 up front. I don't care who. If you're gonna go with Lacazette, Aubameyang, Pepe, ESR, Saka, I don't care. That's a good start. I think that core of Partey, Basuma, and Odegaard moves us up. Right? I think with Xhaka, we know for a fact he won't be here the next 3 games, right? But we also know that he's going to keep getting stupid yellows. So we know. So we have a good chance of remaining where we are. Hopefully not literally where we are right now, because we're in 20th place and we would get relegated, which Ali, if you got me following this club and we get relegated, bro, I mean, seriously. I mean, not again, man. Come on. We need to move up. We need to get to sixth. I mean, baby steps. I'll take six. I mean, I would love to hit Champions League. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I mean, we finished a few points because we finished a little bit strong, and we kind of closed that gap. But in reality, all of those people got stronger. Look at Villa. They went and got Leon Bailey. Jeez. They got Leon Bailey. They got Buendia. Remember Buendia? That wasn't our original. That wasn't our number one target. It was Odegaard, right? And I'm not saying Buendia is a world beater, but he's moving and shaking for Villa. So we'll see. So I give it a 5. You said 6. You said happy we sold Cola. If we'd have sold Kolasinac and a couple others, I'd have been happier. Me too. Yeah, but I think that the only people we would have sold, I think 8th is our. Let me see. Let me get this on the screen so I can see it. I think 8th is our best spot unless we're in a better spot by the holiday season. Let me pull up the schedule. A second. Let's see. Where are we? So we come back the 20th. Where do we play? We come back on the 22nd. All right, let me get this on the screen. So we play. Yeah, so we got. Wait a minute. Is this last year? No, we're in September. That's where we come back. Okay, here we go. We have Norwich. Yeah, so we got Norwich. Then we got Burnley. Then we got Spurs, North London Derby, day before my birthday. Be a great birthday gift to dust them off. Then we move. So I think that'll be the deciders for this manager. Those 3 games. He can make it through there. I think he has a chance of making it at least to the transfer window. Making it, I think it's going to be in 3-month spurts for him. We get dusted off every 3 months. If we go a 3-month stretch where we get dusted off and we don't move up to at least back to where we came from in 8th, then he's gonna get left. Let's see. Then we play Brighton in October. Then we have, where are we? Crystal Palace. We got Villa. That'll be a big game. Then we have Leicester. Then we got, where are we? Watford. Battle of the bottoms right there. Instead of battle of the bastards, battle of the bottoms. Then we come into Liverpool. So that's November, Christmas time. We're coming around Newcastle, Man United, Everton, Southampton, West Ham. Yeah, Christmas time gonna be at Leeds. That's Christmas time. Thanksgiving is gonna be interesting around this camp. Yeah, buddy. What do you say? Better spot. Let's see what motivates to buy. January get it fit. The problem is, man, if it depends on our position. If we're doing good, right? Come January, we might have a chance to get some deals. Right? If we come in and we're doing bad and we're desperate, they're gonna try to finesse us again. Right? Imagine and I think that Basuma is going into his last year of his deal. And I think that if we came in a good position for Basuma and say, hey, I know you guys don't want to lose him free. Let us take him off of you. We'll give you like 30. right? That's good money, right? And then we might necessarily be able to get Calvert Lewin then, but if we can work on that behind the scenes, so when the summer hits, we can get him, right? Because we're losing Lacazette. We're losing Lacazette, first day of summer. As soon as we're done. So we need to be working on that now. But anyway, we're talking about January. So if we come in and we're like 12, 13, 14, 15, somewhere around in that area, and we come to Brighton talking about, yeah, let us get Basuma, they gonna say, nah, well, we in the middle of the season, we don't like doing January transfers and this and that. No, it's gonna be like 50, 60 million. I mean, because that's gonna mess up our float. And no, but if we come and we're rocking and rolling, right? We put a few big dogs away. I don't know how it's gonna happen. We can't even score goals, but for some reason, let's live in a land of fantasy just for a moment, right? If somehow we are in the top half of the table, I'm talking like somewhere in that 8th, 7th, 6th area, right? And we and Brighton aren't doing that well. And we come in January and say, yo, let us get Basuma, 35 million, 30 million. We'll take him off your hands right now so that you won't lose him in 6 months, right? We might be able to get him, right? Because we're coming in from a position of dominance. Like, you can coin and say, yo, you know what? We doing good. We probably going to finish in the Europa League place or, God willing, a Champions League place. Okay, we'll wait. And we'll get him on the free, right? But if not, then you will, you want some money, here you go. You can reinvest. Get it done early. When we come around to the new year and AFCON starts. So, Basuma is French. So he's not, does he have any French caps? Let me look and see. Oh, he's plays for Mali. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so he's going to be gone during did they get drawn in the AFCON? Ali, do you know? Let me see. Let me see. Yep, they're in it. No? There's no way that everybody's in it. Of course not. Nah, they're in it. So he's gonna be gone. Yeah, he's in it. Yeah, they play. He's from Mali, and they're in it. I just checked the schedule. Let me show you. Let me see. Do this share screen. Yeah, you see right here. They play. So I'm sure he's on the team. So yeah, I mean, that sucks. But I'd rather have him. It's only 3 games, right? I'd take him. I don't care. He's gone in a tough group. What if he wants to stay and watch the rest of the tournament? You're like, nah, bro. You get a medical to take him back. No, so yeah, man. I it depends on us. We have to. That's why we can't. These deals are so weird, right? We play so bad that the value of our players is in the toilet right now, right? So even if they think that, like, we can agree sometimes, like, on a deal, right, for a price, right? Then you go talk to the player and they're like, oh well, no, I'm worth this. I'm not taking a pay cut. You see Bellerin took a pay cut. William took a pay cut because they wanted to play, right? So what's up with these other players? What's up with Eddie? Right? What's up with Kolasinac? Don't you want to play? Or you want that dough? right? Kolasinac just made some money, so I'm sure it's probably a little bit tougher for him. But Eddie, he ain't made no money yet, bro. You go to Palace, Banks. Well, they got Edson Odward, so you know. I know, like at one point we were going after him, begging goals for Celtic. I don't know any ballers who play for them. Hold up, hold it now. No, I don't know. I don't know any ballers who play for them. So I don't know. I mean, hey, they might make it to the group stage. You never know, bro. Not a tough group, but yeah, he's gone. Uh, I don't know, but still work on it. Like that's all you see people say. Oh, they're gonna be gone for AFCON, right? That's 3 Premier League games. That's it. It's not like a ton of games, right? Get the person on your Let's cross that bridge when we get there. Okay, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Let's cross that bridge when we get there because if we got them on our roster, we trying to move up in the Premier League. AFCON is 1 month and it's in January. Okay, we still get February, March, April, and May. Okay, to do what we need to do, and if we go into January in a good place, it's not that big of a deal. If the players are good, Aubameyang is scoring, Pepe is scoring, Saka and Smith Rowe developing, Odegaard's dropping dimes, Tommy's doing his thing, Kieran's back on his form, White and Gabrielle are forming a good partnership. Thomas is staying healthy. Then okay. I think we need to like okay. Brentford, I don't even know how we lost it. Well, I do know how we lost, but I just don't understand it. We just didn't look ready. That's the thing that scares me about this season is just we just haven't looked ready to play. It's like it was like a quarterback, like when all of a sudden like a quarterback has to go in, but he hasn't been there that long. So they've had to like dumb down the playbook and put it on like his little wrist thing, and he has to look at it like every time, every time because he's only been there like a week, and they can only give him like 4 or 5 plays to do. Like the first 3 games, that we played, that's how we've looked. Like we have no idea what we're doing. Seriously, it's like so irritating to me, like how unprepared we've looked. I don't know if we were actually prepared and we just got outplayed. I don't know, but they look like they never played football before. It's unbelievable how out of place and out of sync they looked. The crosses that they let in versus Man City. The unwillingness to adapt to a plan in which you were getting beat out at Chelsea. The willingness just to work hard at Brentford and overcome like the circumstances of being in a newly promoted team in a brand new stadium and fans are back. You think that would kind of gas you up. But just the unwillingness to be able to move like that is just mad to me. So yeah, I don't know. Somehow we need to recover. I'm kind of I'm bored because there's no football, but I'm kind of happy that Aubameyang will probably go and bank a few goals, so that'll continue his kind of hopefully help his confidence. Hopefully Pepe feels better. Hopefully Ben White feels better. I guess I have to watch some internationals now. I don't know how I'm going to be able to watch the Japan game so that I can see how Tommy does. Never been interested in watching any of those games before, but here we are. And so yeah, I wasn't actually even interested in watching any internationals because I watched the Euros. I watched pretty much every single game and I thoroughly enjoyed it. But I really enjoy league games more. Internationals are okay, but you don't really know. I mean, they seem more excited about who actually made the team than the actual games. And I'm looking forward to the World Cup next year. I've had enough international football for 1 year, so that'll be it. But I'll keep streaming every day, and we'll keep it up. I know it's going to be kind of a Maybe we'll do a stream during a game or something like that. I don't know. If I can keep gaining listeners, and they, of course, you guys will get a say about what you want to do. If not, we'll keep talking Arsenal. So that's about the end of the stream. It's 10:35. I like to do like an hour and a half unless something really is going on. So that's it. So we went through the team. I mean, since rating the coach, everybody knows how I feel about the management of this team. I think that all of them from in the management standpoint should be relieved of their duties, but they're not. So they're going to be here for the near future. Um, Unless things keep going horribly wrong, I don't know how they can get even worse. We're dead last with a -9 goal differential, so I don't know how they can get any worse. But here we are. And so, but they're going to be here because they invested. I saw like a close to $170 million in them and bought a bunch of kids. So hopefully he can coach them up. So if he does, then good and great. I would love that, right? But if he doesn't, then hopefully we can get somebody is available who's willing to step in and do this job with these players, at least until next year. So, that's about it. It's been great hanging out with you guys. Ali, brother, thank you for coming to hang out with me. Be safe, brother. Uh I know a lot of people watch this after after the stream is over, and so I'll keep plugging away. Do me a favor, give me a like, and please spread the word about this brand new stream, so we can grow and interact and have fun, talk about Arsenal, laugh like we've been doing. Um, and so yeah, I mean we had fun, and we'll do it again tomorrow. So until then, I'm Anton. It's been a pleasure hanging out with you on the Ghost of Highbury. Like I said, interact with me on Twitter, interact with me on YouTube, and this is us simulcast on YouTube and Twitch. So I get a lot of people on Twitch as well. So I really appreciate the growth that's been going on over the past week. Sincerely appreciate it. I will see you guys next time. It's been fun. Ali, brother, thank you so much again for hanging out with me. I'll talk to you soon.